Hi everybody, this is Andy. It's April the 2nd, and in Vancouver it is absolutely miserable outside. So what better time than to make another video? In this video, I'm just doing a little update on a little feature that I created a couple of years ago. And I did this for one particular client at that time where she was in Canada postgraduate work permit, but she wasn't able to find a work experience during her open work permit that would qualify for something above a NOC. So I sat down with her and I wanted to present to her in a concise way what some of the other options are, and I presented the idea that there are some other P&P programs out there where if she, ideally she would get at least some not be experience for Canadian experience class, but in her case, she just wasn't able to. So what I did was I created a heat map, and this heat map is based on the targeted NOCs throughout Canada, and I think this could be moving forward even more relevant because I think there's going to be more and more targeted draws. So let me just show you. I'm not going to go into the formulas or anything, but let me just show you where I got the data from, and then I'll show you an example to show you and explain how everything works. So what I did was I went basically into each province's P&P website. So for example, this is British Columbia, and I grabbed all these codes, and there's obviously a major change since November because we're using five-digit codes now. So I grabbed all these codes, and in a lot of cases, they're for tier levels now that are in 4 and 5. So this is the entry-level and semi-skilled web page. BC also has a high-tech web page, and let me just click on this. So these are 5-digit tier codes for high-tech positions, and to be honest with you, almost every province has something identical to this. Let me just show you Alberta. Alberta, what they did was, and I wrote a little explanation to myself. So, Alberta, they don't specify targeted NOC draw, but they allocated processing, I guess, buckets between various categories. So let me just pause the camera for 1 second. I'll let you, and I'll take you there. Sorry, just to avoid confusion, didn't want to screen flicker. Okay, so what they did was they created a few, categories, and what they did was they allocated a certain portion to each. So in Alberta, they have these NOC codes, right? And this is for the accelerated tech pathway. They also have, let me see, the accelerated tech pathway, and another category for family connections in Alberta, and another category for high demand NOCs. So that's Alberta. So probably confusing already. The next one I entered in was Saskatchewan, and so I'm showing all the URLs that I got this data from. Manitoba. So let's see, Manitoba. I have one web page, in-demand occupations. So let me just find it. Oh, this is in-demand occupations. So I keyed all these NOC codes in to my spreadsheet, and I'll show you why I keyed it in. In Ontario, I keyed in the following. Let me scroll down. Is it even on this page? Let me see. Oh, no, it's a different page. High demand single stream. Oh, here. So I keyed all these in, and I believe I got all the various NOCs, and I obviously have to add to it every so often and correct it. Here is Quebec. Now, Quebec, I believe this is still relevant, even though they haven't updated to the tier codes. I did a translation, and I did a translation for Quebec, and I changed them to the 5-digit code. So you're seeing all the data entry now. Oh, okay. So that's Quebec, and then PEI, Nova Scotia. Here's the Nova Scotia code. So I keyed them all into this one big table in Excel. And here's what I'm trying to do. I want to just generate a simple heat map to give to a client, and as having to be able to talk and plan out what some of the alternatives are. So, sorry, I muttered a little bit, but to show you what I mean, let me show you an example. All right. So, Carla is working as a seafood packer in Fredericton, New Brunswick. She's an open work permit as a spouse of a study permit holder. She's been working with the seafood processing plant seasonally since December 2021. In the past, she was a casino dealer for 2 years and hotel receptionist for 3 years in Las Vegas. She was also a carpet cleaner during college. She's willing to move to another part of Canada for a PR. All right, so I'm going to go into the Excel file, and I emptied everything out. Right, so I'm just trying to show some data on this map by entering some information into my model. I'm not gonna explain too much on the model because my videos are rather cumulative, but suffice it to say, what I did was I entered in a lot of logic based on the NOC codes that tie into these fields down here, and then it'll generate a change to this map. So based on this example of Carla, it will now change based on her past work experience and her primary occupation. So I've keyed everything in. Well, almost everything except for one field. So let me show you where the data entry is. So I put in the various NOC codes. So for example, she's currently working in a fish plant. The code is 94142. As a casino worker, 64311. And again, it's all driven by an auto filter. Hotel front desk clerk, 64314, and a specialized cleaner is 65311. So let me show you the heat map now. So you see that some portions are light green in color. And what I tried to do was indicate past work experience anywhere in the world that matches a NOC code in their targeted NOC, in that province's targeted NOC. And what I also did was the following. Say she's willing to move to another province, and she's willing to take anything. Well, how about, let's see if there's a job as a seafood packer, her current job. So that NOC is 94142. I'll scroll down. It's actually easier to see now. So this field I have is her primary occupation. I'll go back to the tier to the heat map, and you see in BC and in Quebec, I've keyed in, and it matches one of the in-demand NOC codes. So and again, it's all based on a formula. So because of that, these two are a little more darker now. So I'll try one of the other ones, and let's see if she's I don't know, maybe willing to go back and work at a casino. 64321. So, all right, casino worker. Let's go over here. Oop. And in BC, there is a targeted NOC for casino work. So we go over here, entry level and semi-skilled, and there's a casino worker code. So what I'm trying to do in this map is just have a good starting point for a conversation. It doesn't, like, the map doesn't mean that there's a really fast and easy pathway for a tier code 4 or 5 to get a PR, because each province has their own criteria. For example, to apply for this, the applicant needs to be, I think, working for that employer for a minimum of 9 months. And each province is a little different. I remember off the top of my head, for Ontario, I think the work experience is 9 months, work-based in Ontario. Work experience 9 months in the same NOC code. Doesn't mean it has to be for that employer, but has to be 9 months in that job. So yeah, all I'm trying to do is really just present information another way. And I thought at least if it's not particularly useful for some people, it was for me, it was also a good way to keep in one list all these other targeted NOCs, because I know moving forward it could be really handy. And so what I'll do in the video description is I'll put in all these links, because I actually need to reference them myself. But inside the table, and I'll show you, actually, let me just go back here. So I think my last data entry was casino worker, right? So I'll show you how the formulas work. I go over here, and these are just flags. Like, there's a flag value indicating there's work experience there, and in the past. So this for example, meaning in Carla's work experience, she's worked as a fish and seafood worker, and also the very first one, she's working as a front desk clerk, and over here she's worked as a casino dealer. I just happen to remember what these NOC codes mean. So yeah, everything on the map is formula driven. I'll add a link to this file. Actually, all my filings are exactly the same, but if you want to play around with it, go for it. I know a couple people have tried it, and frankly, this is probably the more understandable portions of the model. And I totally sympathize, when you look at somebody else's spreadsheet, there's nothing more painful than looking at somebody else's work, because it's so, I don't know, unformatted, free flowing. But I do think that this could be useful moving forward, because there are going to be so many NOCs, targeted NOCs. So if you have an immigration practice and you have an immigration case manager, giving that person this type of file could be very handy. Oh yeah, and by the way, so I showed you where I set the flag for past experience here, right? Well, how I evaluate the primary NOC, this isn't on those two columns, but it's directly in one of these formulas up here. Hope it didn't make anybody dizzy. So it's directly in one of these formulas here. So this is the formula. I think once you look at how I set it up, it should be pretty straightforward. What Excel does, is if the number is higher, the darker the color is. So I wanted to indicate which province matches the primary NOC, the primary NOC, and it matches one of the targeted NOCs. So hopefully I explained that right. Anyways, thank you very much for your time, and hopefully I didn't confuse anybody there. And again, yeah, I'll post this up and with the link. And if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me. Thanks. Bye.